Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Sports Box, where the only opinion that matters. Yeah, see, I got you, didn't I?
Thanks, me?
That's right, is right here. I am Michael at A.K. Hammonton Mike, along with my partner Brian the Ranger Attard.
I should know better.
Yeah. Hey, Brian, how you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm freaking fabulous. If I was any better, I'd be you.
That's
well, I don't know about being a Ranger, but anyway.
Never had a bad day in my life.
Yeah, there you go. Anyway, we are going to talk winners of the week today. Happy to do it for you. A little holiday festive cheer for everybody out there. This is a holiday week. Remember, we got games, full slate of games this week on on December 24th, Christmas Eve on Saturdays. Yeah.
Well, this works out really great because if you have family in town that you don't want to hang out with, just turn some football on.
That's it.
And you're good to go.
That's it. Which will be me. Anyway, Thursday we are going to talk. I'm going to get the first game, and I love talking this game. We're going to talk about the Giants and the Eagles. I think this is. I don't want to say no-brainer, Philadelphia fans out there, but the way the Eagles have been struggling out there, they did play well against Baltimore, but kind of beat themselves up at the end. I don't know why you go for two. Anyway, the Giants are playing well. They need the game just to move, keep pace in the standings. They will make the playoffs, but it's always nice to get that win. I think Eli's playing well. If you've watched our special before with Tony, our New York affiliate, we were talking about how the Giants are put together with their air attack. Their running attack is not as good, but their defense is playing phenomenal right now. I don't see how the Eagles are going to score that many points enough to beat the Giants. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think it's going to be a close game. I have the Giants to win.
The Eagles have nothing to play for other than the fact that they don't like the Giants. It is a division game. The Giants won the last game in this series back in November.
Yep.
Giants have more to play for. Eagles have nothing to play for, and I agree.
Draft pick.
No, they don't even have that.
That's what I'm saying. They lose the draft. They lose for the draft pick.
So the one thing about this game that's interesting is to really see if the Eagles can bounce back from that loss last week. They're going up against the Giant defense that's allowed 13 points in the past 2 weeks to Detroit and Dallas. Those are not two slouches at all in the NFC. But I do think that the Giants want to put a lockdown on that 5 seed at this point. I do like the Giants to win the game. I don't know how close it's going to be be honest with you. I think it's going to be an absolutely miserable day.
17-14.
Fair enough. AFC East battle as those Miami Dolphins and Matt Moore, that's going to strike some fear, go into icy Buffalo to take on the Buffalo Bills.
It's December in Buffalo.
I really find it hard to pick the Dolphins to win a game in Buffalo. The Dolphins are not a very good cold weather team.
You just hate that Matt Moore, don't you?
Can you have faith in Matt Moore?
Well, considering the last game he started was before that, the first game since 2011. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I don't like this. The Bills. Rex Ryan's probably on his way out in Buffalo. I mean, they're pretty much out of playoff contention.
Yep.
You look at where the Dolphins are right now. They are holding on to a playoff spot by the skin of their teeth. 1 win ahead of the 7th-seeded Ravens and 8th-seeded Titans and 9th-seeded Broncos. So they do have teams that are coming up after them. I just don't think that this is going to be a week where they go ahead and get a win. I'm going to go ahead. I do think that the Bills win this game. I just don't see how a really heavy warm weather team is going to go into Buffalo and get a win with a backup quarterback in Matt Moore.
I think it's real simple. You got Matt Moore, stinks. I think they're going into a cold weather team. They're going to a cold weather area, which is hard. You got Rex Ryan on the way out. They want to play for Rex Ryan because, believe it or not, these players actually like Rex Ryan. Number 4 is Tyrod Taylor is a free agent after this year. He wants to prove that he's going to be worth the big money for this Buffalo team. Now, if Buffalo does decide to get rid of him or franchise him, you really want E.J. Manuel back there? Yeah. So I think Tyrod Taylor and the Buffalo Bills have something to play for. I'm a Florida State guy.
Do that again.
Yeah.
Oh, I like it.
That's awful.
I love that.
I'm a Florida State guy too, but E.J. Manuel is not the answer to this team. I think Tyrod Taylor plays well this week. I think Buffalo, again, against a cold weather team, it doesn't matter. Even though Dolphins have been playing well, I still don't think Matt Moore gets sacked a lot this week. Take Buffalo Bills this week. The New York Jets against the New England Patriots. What a surprise. The Jets, the terrible Jets, are going to New England now. Yes, Tom Brady's on a mission, like we said all year long, to kick the NFL's ass, and you know what? He's doing a damn good job. Goes into Denver last week and beats up the Broncos to where Broncos have a fight in the locker room. What does that tell you? I think this is no debate, no discussion. The Jets have bailed out. They've given up. They'll probably fire Bowles at the end of the year, I'm assuming, because they're awful this year. All kinds of problems. I'm taking Tom Brady and the Patriots.
How sure are you?
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
Let me just think about it for a second.
Okay.
I'm good.
Right.
New England wins this game. The Jets are done. They're playing Bryce Petty, and if you think that Bill Belichick isn't like embarrassing the New York Jets, you haven't been watching football for the past 10 years.
Oh yeah.
This could get out of hand very quickly. I think the Pats. I think Brady might take the whole fourth quarter off. It's going to be one of those games. Obviously, I think New England gets a win here, and they're really looking to lock up that 1 seed in the AFC. An AFC South battle is a very surprising. Tennessee Titans team goes down to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. So this is a matchup here, a very surprising team, a very disappointing team. I think before the season, if I told you that one team was 8-6 and one team was 2-12, you'd probably have these two teams flipped. Titans have been playing well. Jaguars have not been playing well. Gus Bradley was recently relieved of his duties as coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Doug Marrone in there.
Doug Marrone. Tennessee should get a win here. Again, very surprising. They'll go to 9-6 here, try to keep pace with the AFC South. I just don't see how Jacksonville stays in this game. I think Tennessee's way too strong. They run the ball very well, throw the ball very well. Mariota still is exceptional in the red zone. Stop. No. Stop.
You know what? He's going to kill me again, but I hate to do it. But, yeah, I'm pulling an upset here. I think that now that Gus Bradley's gone, this team was not playing for Gus Bradley. Even though Doug Marrone's not a big upgrade, he is a little bit better than Gus Bradley because Gus Bradley lost that team. Tennessee has been struggling. Even though they went into Kansas City and won that game, Tennessee struggles a little bit against teams like this of lesser talent. You're in Jacksonville. Gus Bradley's gone. You know what? Jacksonville shocked the world. I think the Jags get their third win this week, believe it or not. And I think that's going to dash the hopes of the Tennessee Titans. But call me crazy, but I think Jacksonville's going to win this game.
Have you taken your medication today, sir?
Not enough of it, but I'm good.
Enough.
I'm good. So the next game I'm going to take is the Minnesota Vikings at the Green Bay Packers. The falling Minnesota Vikings and the surging Green Bay Packers. You would have told me that at the beginning of the year. I would have said, well, you know what? I don't. Actually, with Bridgewater going down this year, I would have thought the Vikings were going to be a good team anyway, but they've been struggling of late, and they are really in free fall. Green Bay Packers, on the other hand, are surging even without a running game with James Starks out of there. Christian Michael, great pickup, playing well. I like the Packers in this game, even though I think Minnesota can shut them down a little bit offensively. You're not going to shut the Green Bay down for long. They throw to all the receivers. They got Ty Montgomery in the backfield. You got Devontae Adams. You have Jordy Nelson, obviously, is a solid threat out there. You got a lot of weapons for Green Bay. I don't think Minnesota's going to be covering them all. I think you take the Packers.
I don't think anybody in the NFC wants to see Green Bay win this game, but they're going to. You know, talk about how the mighty have fallen. 5-0 to 7-7, 7 losses in 9 games. That is, you know who's happy about that? Philadelphia Eagles fans, because that #1 pick keeps going up and up with a steal by the Eagles there. I said a couple weeks ago I felt that Green Bay was going to run this table and go to 10-6. I'm taking that to the house. I think Green Bay wins this division, and they get a win here against just a reeling Vikings team. And how about Adrian Peterson coming back and doing nothing last week?
It's his first week back.
Yeah, but I don't think he was supposed to play. I think he kind of announced it and then they had to go with it. I don't know. But Green Bay gets another winning record, goes to 9 wins with a win against the Minnesota Vikings. San Diego Chargers coming east to a team that hasn't won a game yet, and that's the Cleveland Browns. The trend is your friend, so I'm not going to go ahead and pick the Browns to win this game, but it'll be curious to see what the Chargers have to play for here. They are trying to get Antonio Gates that tight end touchdown record. I think he's a couple short of that. Melvin Gordon is up and down. Not sure if he's going to play or not, but the Browns are just that is a dumpster fire like there has never been in the NFL. I mean, they need to pretty much bust it up again, but. Again, no controversy here. San Diego wins.
Cleveland has given me no reason to ever pick them because they haven't shown anything. They've been getting blown out every week. Then I have RG3 in that carnival, and your Crowell's back there. I almost wish he was a free agent to get out of there because Tyrell Pryor is out of there at the end of the season. Here comes the Chargers team that, although disappointing 5-9, are still not that bad of a team. They can still play some defense. They can still play a little bit of offense. I don't think Melvin Gordon may play this week. He might be a game-time decision, but in any sense, again, Cleveland has given me no reason to take the Cleveland Browns. I'm taking the San Diego Chargers. The next game is the Washington Redskins at the Chicago Bears. And this is an interesting game because Chicago came back a little bit in that game with, yes, Matt Barkley to almost beat the Green Bay Packers, but did lose. And here's our Washington Redskins team who just got beat up against the Carolina Panthers on Monday night. I'm going to take a bounce-back win for the Redskins. I think the Redskins need the game to get in the playoffs. They're trying to keep pace with the Buccaneers, trying to get that wild card spot locked up. And the Bears have given up this year, even though Matt Barkley's playing better. I think Matt Barkley could be somebody they could look to for the future if they decide to bail on Cutler, which is a lot of money. But in any sense, I don't think the Bears, even at home, can stay in this game. I'm taking the Redskins to win the game.
Jordan Reed, you're dead to me.
Yep.
Cost me a win in my fantasy football semifinals. God, they looked so bad against the Carolina Panthers, who are a team with nothing to play for. They are trying to keep pace, but I think that playoff ship has sailed for the Washington Redskins.
Yep.
The Bears have been playing with some heart. They almost beat the Lions. They almost beat the Green Bay Packers last week in a really tough game. I don't know what the hell's coming over me right now, but give me the Bears to win this game. I just think that they're going to get a win.
And you called me nuts. Wow.
Yeah. Okay. Well, again,
anyway,
the Redskins have not been playing well. They can't seem to beat a bad team at home. I don't think we're going to beat a bad team on the road. The passing game has just been mostly non-existent the past couple weeks. Give me the Bears to get a win here. I don't love it, but I just think that the Redskins are a sinking ship.
Matt Barkley.
Yeah. Sorry. The Carolina Panthers, who just beat those Redskins, play host to the Atlanta Falcons. Now, in this game, Mike, I know that you want the Panthers to win, but I don't know that they're going to. Falcons have been playing well. They're walking into a Carolina team that can be had defensively. Falcons throw a lot, and look at a guy like Taylor Gabriel filling in for Julio Jones, filled in admirably. Falcons are trying to round into shape here, trying to get that NFC South division title, hold the Bucs at bay. I do think the Falcons get a win here. Not what you want to hear, I think, but again, Carolina has been awful all year. I felt they'd be awful all year. They missed Josh Norman terribly, and they're not doing anything right. Give me the Falcons to win the game.
Listen, I never said I wasn't a Buccaneers fan. I'll say that till the day I die, but I'm also going to be objective and spit the truth here. I think the Falcons blow out the Panthers this week. I think the Panthers did beat a Washington team on their heels at home, smelling themselves a little bit, saying, yeah, you know what, we're moving along, we're doing well. And that's when the Panthers struck. They got nothing to play for. But you know what, here comes an Atlanta team that's now trying to keep pace and stay ahead of the Buccaneers, who are only one game back, and win that division. I don't think the Falcons let up this week. I think Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, I think they all get back on track this week. And I think the Panthers struggle, like Brian said. I think the Falcons in a blowout this week. I think it's a double-digit win this week for the Falcons. That's right, I said double digits. The next game is the Indianapolis Colts against the Oakland Raiders. And yes, right, if you heard it, that's right. If you heard it here this week or this year, Ron Dorsey, when we talked about our special, I am the one that clamored that the Raiders would win this division this year, and the Raiders are playing solid this year. The Colts even they're in the conversation, I think, to make the playoffs as a wild card, but they have to have some things happen for them. Although Andrew Luck and T.Y. Hilton playing well, Frank Gore's had a decent year. This Colts team is not the same Colts team that we've seen in the past, and this Raiders team, I mean, they're just plugging along right now. It's almost like, how could you go against them right now? They're at home. They got a team coming west to play them. Raiders on all cylinders. I'm taking the Raiders again.
I think that the Colts' playoff chances took a really big hit when they lost at home to the Houston Texans a couple weeks ago. The Raiders right now, believe it or not, are actually in striking distance of the Pats. I don't think they're going to catch them, but it'll make it interesting. Again, the Raiders at home, Colts not doing a whole lot. To inspire a lot of confidence in anybody, whereas the Raiders continue to just play super, super well. Gotta love what Derek Carr is doing. I think even with the broken finger, or whatever the finger ailment is, has not been an issue for this team. They keep winning games. It wouldn't surprise me at all if the Raiders want to get to a point where they have everything locked up, because if they want to give David Carr a week off or hopefully get that bye, that should do wonder for them in the playoffs. Give me the Raiders to win this game, and no, I don't think it's close.
Last week against the Chargers was the week they probably should have lost, but they came back, battled back, and won the game, so that just shows the Raiders are a team. They're for real.
Those Tampa Bay Buccaneers fighting and clawing for that playoff spot are going to go into New Orleans to play the Saints, and it's very, very hard to win games in New Orleans. I will tell you that. I'll preface it with that. I do think the Buccaneers are the better team out of these two teams. I like a lot what I've seen from that team. And every week, even the game against Dallas, I thought they were pretty competitive, even though the first half didn't go as well as they would have wanted it to. I find it very difficult to pick against Drew Brees in the Dome, so I'm not going to. I think the Saints find a way to win this game. I think it's not a good place to be for the Bucs. I don't think the better team wins here. I just think the fact that the Saints are at home plays a big role. But having said that, the Buccaneers did hold the Saints down a lot in the game that they played in Tampa. I think a change of venue might change the outcome, though. I think the Saints got to win.
This game is a very scary game because this is a revenge game for the Saints, and now they're going back home. The Saints did drop 2 passes in the end zone they probably should have had. So that score is 16-11. Although the Bucs defense has played better, probably should have been a little bit of a different outcome. I know Drew Brees is slinging the ball around. He's got a lot of weapons in the way of Mark Ingram. He's got Thomas. He's got Cooks. He's got a lot of guys to throw the ball to. I just think the Bucs they're not that much of a mature team left, but I think they have enough to slow down the Saints enough to win this game. They have an opportunity to get into the playoffs this first time in forever since the Bucs have gotten playoffs, so maybe 2008 or even before that. I think the Bucs can seize the opportunity. I think Jameis Winston can get them up. I think Mike Evans has a good game. Doug Martin gets back on track. I don't think it's I actually think it's a high-scoring game, but I think the Bucs can outlast the Saints and slow them down a little bit. I'm going to take the Buccaneers in a win. Not to be a homer, but I just think the Bucs can win this game. They can pull it off if they need to. They should have probably beat Dallas last week, but that's a whole different episode. Anyway, yeah, I saw the face. Anyway, the Cardinals are at the Seattle Seahawks, and the Cardinals let me down last week against not keeping up with the New Orleans Saints. They couldn't stop them. Drew Brees was throwing the ball all over the place. Although David Johnson played well, this Cardinals team is not the same Cardinals team we saw in the beginning of the year and predicted them as a solid team to win that division. They are struggling. 5-8-1, more than likely out of the playoffs this year. Have to look at quarterback position with Carson Palmer. And Seattle, home again. It's a tough place to play in Seattle. They're not on the road. I'm going to take the Seahawks. It's a tough place to play, no matter what team you are, going out to Seattle with Russell Wilson. Baldwin hasn't really done anything in the last couple weeks. He's due. Jimmy Graham is due. That Seattle defense is still good, even though they don't have Earl Thomas. I'm thinking the Seahawks.
Seahawks definitely win this game. And, I remember going back when we kind of previewed these two teams early on before the season, we felt that this game was going to decide the NFC West. Boy, how wrong were we. Seattle's coming in this game looking to put a lockdown on that number 2 seed. The Cardinals are not going to provide much in their way of that, and the Seahawks win this game pretty handily. What's interesting, though, you mentioned the quarterback situation in Arizona. You know who'd look really good there?
Tony Romo?
Yeah. Wouldn't he look really good with that offense?
Sure.
David Johnson's had a phenomenal year, just has not been enough for this team. I don't think it's coaching. I think Arians is great. I just think it's, again, Palmer's regression, father time catching up, and a lot of other things going wrong. But I do think the Seahawks win this game. So here's one that's probably not going to get a high rating.
Can we flex it?
I think if we flexed it to Friday at 2, it's probably the right spot for it.
And let me give you another great stat about this game. It's going to rain. So that's
going to rain.
That's even going to be better.
Wow. So all you LA Rams fans spending your Christmas Eve
happy holidays.
Watching your team. Yeah, happy holidays. 49ers visiting the Rams in a battle of who wants to get a higher pick. Although, having said that, the Rams don't even have their pick. That is property of the Tennessee Titans. What a cluster.
Might as well eat dinner early.
Yeah. I gotta pick a winner here?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
God. Give me the Niners.
Oh, God.
I don't even know why.
Don't ever talk about my picks again.
Are you
done?
It's the Rams.
Are you done? You're going to give some analysis?
It's the Rams.
The LA Rams against San Francisco. I'm just going to take it from you. The San Francisco 49ers against the LA Rams. I'm going to take the LA Rams only because San Francisco stinks. They've shown nothing. They've had 3 leads in games and blown them to the Jets. It's not even worth talking about. I'm sorry, Andy. We love you. We love you when you come on the show. But the San Francisco 49ers are an awful team right now. They go in front. They can't hold leads. Kaepernick stinks. Blaine Gabbert stinks. You go down the line. This team is awful. Not that the Rams are any better, but you know what? They have a little bit of you know what? They stink too. Sorry, Vince. They stink too. This is a bad game. I'm just going to get out of this. The Rams are a slightly better team. I'm going to take the Rams.
At least the Niners have their coach all year.
That's true. That's true. At least I'm
continuity, guys.
At least I'm
continuity.
If I had any money to bet on this game, I'd probably just take it with me and just kill myself.
Light it on fire.
Light it on fire. Yeah. So now we're going to go to the Bengals and the Texans. Here are teams going in different directions. The Bengals struggling this year. 5-8-1, another tie. Ugh. Andy Dalton not having a good year at all. AJ Green out with a bad injury. I mean, they've bitten pieces. They had a lead last week against Pittsburgh. They probably should have finished them off and didn't score a point in the second half. How does Marvin Jones still have a job? How does he still have a job? It's unbelievable.
Nate, we're calling you Nate.
Yeah, and then after that, you talk about the Houston team who benched Osweiler. Thank God. After that mess this year, give me Tom Savage. Actually, Tom Savage didn't look that bad. At least Hopkins is a little bit happier. He's getting the ball a little more now. I'm going to take the Houston Texans at home. They're a different team. They're a better team at home, it seems still, even though on the road they're struggling mightily. Last week they struggled at home, but I've still have a little faith in the Texans. I think the Bengals are just reeling right now. I don't want to say they packed it in, but they're not playing the Bengals style, and I don't think that's enough to beat the Texans this week. I'm taking Houston.
I'm going to be on the opposite side of you on this one.
Yeah, what a shot.
Houston doesn't scare me the least. Listen.
I'm sorry. That was something over here.
There goes the rating again. We're going to be flying.
The ratings are fine.
So Houston's 8-6. They're trying to hold on to this NFC South AFC South because someone's got to win this division, unfortunately.
Yep.
I think if the Bengals get A.J. Green back this week and that's not out of the realm, I think it definitely bodes well for them. I mean, I think that the reason that they've kind of tailed off, especially lately, is because they haven't had a lot of offensive threats to worry about. But I think Dalton's a better quarterback than Tom Savage. I don't think I'm going on a limb there. Bengals probably should have won last week. I think they get a win for their coach. I don't know if he's going to keep his job or not. But
you don't have the Savage jersey ordered?
It's on back order, actually. Okay. It's a really popular item.
They're blowing out of them. Yeah, they're blowing out of them.
Actually, it's funny. The Osweiler jerseys are actually sold out, too, because people need to set their fireplace up for Christmas. I think the Osweiler jerseys kindling.
I still have my David Carr jersey.
David Carr.
Yeah.
So, give me the Bengals here. Don't ask me why. I'm going off a hunch. Just my hunch. I think if A.J. Green plays, I think he makes up for some lost time. Give me the Bengals to win this game.
You're smoking weed this holiday season.
Not me.
It's not mistletoe, it's weed.
I am drug-free, sir. 100%.
Okay.
So we're going to transfer over now to Christmas Day, and we have a couple of AFC divisional battles here.
Good games, actually.
There's going to be some must-see football action on Christmas Day. So again, if you have family over that you don't want to spend any time with,
throw them out.
Get yourself a television and some alcohol or some hot cocoa and just watch.
Throw them out early and just knock the crown down on the couch and just go nuts.
This could be what decides the AFC South.
Yep.
AFC North. I am just...
I
Baltimore Ravens visiting the Pittsburgh Steelers, and this is going to be one of those games that's going to be well worth the price of admission. So again, you have the Steelers at 9-5, the Ravens at 8-6, trying to get back into the playoff picture. The Ravens desperately need the game, and Ben Roethlisberger has not played well away from home this year, but that's not a problem here because he's playing at home. Le'Veon Bell has just been off the charts. He's come back from his suspension. The Ravens barely beat a bad Eagles team last week, although that game was at home, so maybe that's why. I think the Steelers put the division away with a win here. I think the Steelers get a win here. I think they lock up the AFC North, and then we'll see who they play in the playoffs. It might just be the Ravens. Who knows? But I think at this point, I do like Pittsburgh to win the game. I like what their offense is doing, and I think at home, it's good Ben versus bad Ben, and good Ben's the one that plays at home. Give me the Steelers.
Although, I kind of agree with Brian a little bit, but you know what? I think the Ravens need this game a little bit more. I think the Ravens win this game. I think they find a way. Close game. And actually a really good game, I think, to win this game. I think the Ravens are starting to play a little bit better. Steve Smith back. Flacco loves to throw to him and Dennis Pitta. Suggs got in there last week. I know it's the Eagles, but he did get in there and get some pressure. They're going to have to move Ben around a little bit. Although they're going to have to slow down Antonio Brown, which is going to be a chore in itself. And Le'Veon Bell is going to be a big dose of Le'Veon Bell. But remember, this is a revenge game with going back into Pittsburgh. I know it's going to be a tough game, but I think the Ravens somehow, some way, pull this game out. Go Ravens. Broncos at the Chiefs. Broncos got exposed. I don't want to say exposed. That's a bad word, but exposed last week to a New England team that came into Denver and just took them apart defensively. Now, Kansas City is home this week, so going into Arrowhead is not as scary as it was, but you know what? Trevor Seaman stinks. He does stink. It's terrible. Demetrius Thomas is not having as good a year as he did in the past. The running back situation is kind of in flux right now. Their defense is yelling at each other in the locker rooms. I just think Kansas City is more in tune to move the ball. Low-scoring game. That Kansas City defense, folks, don't take them lightly. They're nasty defense. They've been playing really well lately, especially when they got Houston back. I'm going to take the Kansas City Chiefs to win this game at home. I think they have enough. It's going to be a battle. They need the game. I'm taking the Chiefs.
Chiefs, I think, one of the most underrated teams in the league. I really believe that. Not a lot enough to like about this team. I'm not in love with Alex Smith, but he gets the job done. I think they put the Broncos out of their misery here. The Broncos would fall to 8-7 with a loss here. I think it's probably what's most likely to happen. Again, Chiefs have won 2 straight. In this series, I think they're going to make it a third. What the Broncos do really well is they defend the pass extraordinarily well, but their run defense can be had, and I think that you'll see a lot of Spencer Ware, short passes to Travis Kelce. You're not going to, Casey doesn't rely so much on the guys on the outside. They're more of a short passing game and a run game. I think that doesn't really play well in the Broncos' strengths. I think the Chiefs do get a win here to try to keep pace or try to get. I mean, they're probably going to be the 5 seed. It looks like I think they're going to catch the Raiders, but they'll probably lock that up. Maybe even give themselves the chance to get a bye next week, but just not play their starters. And the Monday night game, the day after Christmas, those Detroit Lions fly on down to Big D, take on my Dallas Cowboys, and I think this is the game where the Cowboys lock up that #1 seed. So Lions win. These are the 2 teams that the Giants most recently beat. Both didn't score very well against the Giants, but Dallas still running the ball exceptionally well. I still believe that Dak Prescott's going to end up blowing it for this team at some point in the playoffs, maybe sooner than later, but I don't think it happens here. I think the Cowboys get a win on mostly the strength of their run game and their offensive line, as it's pretty much been all year. I still want to see what Stafford's going to do with his finger. I know that's having some issues, and I think it doesn't really bode well for him. They don't run the ball well at all, so they're going to rely on Stafford. I mean, he might be an MVP candidate, to be honest with you. I mean, as much as they've relied on Stafford this year, I think he's definitely in the discussion. But, I mean, again, Dallas looking to put this thing away, maybe sit some players again next week against the Eagles, if that's the case. I take Dallas to win the game.
I don't think the Dallas Cowboys lock it up this week. I think next week's definitely lock-up week playing the Eagles. Believe it or not, I think Detroit has a chance in this game. I think Detroit can win this game. The defense, yeah, they struggled a little bit against the Giants last week. Giants didn't prove anything, but you know what? They do have Odell Beckham, so that's one thing. And you got to remember Matt Stafford with the finger issue still going on with the glove. I think he's one more week better, getting healthier. There's a possibility they get Theo Riddick back this week. Eric Ebron's been playing well. The wide receivers are coming together. I think the Detroit Lions need this game more than the Cowboys do. I think Detroit's a little bit hungrier. I don't know if the Cowboys want to say lay back a little bit, but I think they're smelling themselves a little bit after 12-2 this year. Dak has been playing well. They get some pressure to them. Who knows what's going to happen? I'm going to take the Detroit Lions to win this game because they need it more. And I think, like I said, the Cowboys win the following week against the Eagles. And, you know, please, no more Salvation Army jumping for
Hey, you know what?
Actually,
listen,
got a lot of donations.
Yeah, donations went up after that. You know,
That's
I'm kind of glad to see that he wasn't fined. I was actually kind of expecting one.
Yep.
But good for him.
Maybe the Red Cross can get down there with something, and he can lay on the table.
Listen, anything this time of year that can be done for families in America that are struggling, I think is a great thing. So I'm glad to see that a bunch of more dollar donations came into Salvation Army. Hopefully, they're doing some good work.
Good donations. You see Sally Struthers lately? She's not struggling. She's larger than life. I think she's stealing some of the food needed. But anyway, that's all the time we have. We'd like to thank you for watching Winners of the Week. We always love bringing it to you and love bringing you new product.
And of course, wish happy holidays to all of our loyal SportsBox viewers. Again, this is the holiday week for a lot of the viewing public, so definitely enjoy the time with your families or tell them to go away and watch some football. We got your winners for you right here. But of course, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter at SportsBox Show. The YouTube channel is just blowing up, so make sure you're part of it because that's where all of our new stuff goes, and I want to make sure that you're aware of it.
Another month, folks. It's kicking to the revenge. Get ready. Gotta keep a close watch out. We're going to announce the date pretty soon.
Just some inside information. I do believe the man's on a mission.
Oh, damn right. I started kicking again. I'm practicing. Look out.
If I had to make a call right now, I think he's going to make this one.
Goddamn right. You're going to see. If not, I'm going to embarrass myself a little bit more. That's okay, though.
For your viewing pleasure.
Exactly. For your viewing pleasure. Make sure you subscribe. Because remember, at the Sports Box, the only opinion that matters is still right here. Thanks for watching, folks. See ya.
Don't forget to subscribe.